Good evening everybody, welcome back. I've got some work at Grantham, I've got some night ops one. I'm here at Lowe's, Salzburg Airport in Austria. We're going to be flying down on a night ops to, first of all, Vienna, to pick up 4 people, and then we're going to continue on to Rome. We've got estimated flight time to about 1 hour 45, but with the initial trip to pick up VIPs, it'll probably be about 2 hours 45, I think. So it's going to be a good one. We've got the night ops, we've got to test the aircraft for lighting and things, which will be new for me. We're not going to follow any tech list, we'll just do it off memory and off by heart as we go. Lowe's reports of today were very free, and we are using Simbrief and Grantham as well. Let's go ahead and hop in. So what we need to do, this is a new livery actually. The cell is silver on the outside when you actually spawn in the aircraft, but the livery on the menu is more of a gold colour. So yeah, we need to regenerate the icons I think. Now though, let's get started. Let's get our battery connected on the Cessna Citation 560XL. Very similar process in most of the 560s to be honest. Really cool livery though, a nice blue, black there, you can see the nice colours, and obviously the aircraft's not that good looking, so night time kind of hides a lack of visuals. So we're going to go ahead and pressurize this now, we're on the ground. We're not going to start too quickly, we're going to use the APU this time. Let's lock that. And pressurize the door. We're hopping and popping to our cloud, so I'm just going to pop there, this is my seat. Co-pilot seat, this is a 2-man aircraft, so you're going to pilot and a co-pilot. I'm going to go ahead and initiate the start. So we're going to test the battery, connect the battery, sorry. So we want battery connect, we do want the interior master switch as well. Make sure they're on. You can do an emergency test first to check this power, there's power as well. And then batteries on, and I'm going to stick some floodlights on. So keep it nice and bright. Batteries on, full boost, normal. And down here, let's get the navigation lights on. That's 2 centre screen on, although it won't monitor the avionics are switched, so we'll do that now. Avionics, and we'll get the APU started. Not much time in the APU in this aircraft, only about 2 hours 15 minutes. Usually around 100 RPM it will start to give you generator options. And then max blue there is the only one option in this aircraft, but or the max blue bar on the APU, auxiliary power unit, if you don't know what it is. There it goes nicely. Puts it to a generation first and makes it start up and then makes it the higher things that over. Ready to load, and then it's a blue bearing. Switch the temperature circulation to the temperature circulation to down about 18 degrees in this area. Pressurization, let's put that to normal. The instructs are PFD on. And I'll do a quick test. Quick fire test. And data, extra passwords. And that's it for preliminary starts. We don't need the generators on the engines just yet. We do keep the initial normal if you want the engine not really starting up. So you can switch them on to normal. This will be the point when we switch oxygen on to auto and climb to our flight level, so it'll be not very high up. So it's, the biggest thing being, if you're wondering why I'm not cruising so high on this flight, it's giving me the optimal cruise level, so it must be the optimal cruise level for the aircraft. Fuel or also costing, it might cause it to burn much quicker than it should, but apparently somebody's given us the same thing today, like the best cruise profile, the planned optimal flight level, and it's only 21,000, so we'll have to see how this handles it. In terms of flight plans, I did finally figure out how to download the flight plan, so we'll have to try that now. So flight plan, and then give you an option. There we go, so we want lows to low, that's Vienna. I'll load that in. Come up with the departure runway 33. The lows are that now. We'll be able to do it quicker than that, provided there's no issues on routes. So background lights are on. I don't recommend them. I actually recommend instrument lights for the night. The rails will be off at night. I don't know any pilots who use floodlights at night. Just got a clock on. That's for smaller planes, that is. Usually for bigger ones it might be slightly different. Okay, that's precaution. So low oil pressure. What else can we do? So let's click the beacon on, keep an eye on the APU. Of course, I'm going to stick the cabin lights on. We want to see that interior lighting as well. So cabin lights, entry lights, okay, ATC services for Salzburg is not available. Blue master and whiskey. We're just going to go ahead and clear ourselves in the Unicom. 122 gas in the right. And we'll hopefully get to APC and get either to Vienna or to our final destination zone. So let's go going, let's put the engine started. Keep an eye on that generator power. Introduce fuel and control lock off. And introduce fuel. And it's 20% on 3. This aircraft's fuel work very quickly. I think it's probably cheaper to real aircraft there's no bad quick in real air. Going 20% within like less than a second. Let's get on, let's get the first check on the instruments. Everything is looking fairly good. We want 21,000. I'll check the initial departure altitude in a second. Right, LBM issue there on the right. That's actually slightly slower, so let's get the generator. And we'll turn UAV off. Okay, radius lights on, standby power test. This should be all tested before you start off the roll. And then in the phone. So come on, we're going to do that last time. We're going to start and noise. We're going to give you a generator check. Noise to taxi, so we cycle to the right. We switch left generator off. Put the rising DCMs. And the same with the right side as well. So turn the right off, check for the rise on the left. It seems to be alright. Maybe some like 300, that'd be a concern. Okay. Now once it's turned the autopilot on and select GPS and go back to our platform one sec. So this altitude is on this, as you think right in order to see, so it's going to be 7,000 for number 3 alpha departure, number 2 alpha rising, 7,000 and then 142,000, but some boosting is 21,000. You have to click it, by the way, click enter twice in order to confirm that altitude. But we're going to put that in for the arrival, then we'll do some things at landing. It can't follow the VNAV tag as far as I'm aware, so we'll keep that in the back of our mind. Let's get taxi. We want beacon is already on. We want the taxi light. Let's get the Q&A from X1 as well. Usually on the flight plan from Sunday, but I haven't downloaded the PDF today, so a high up transition level because of the mountain coverage, 11,000 feet and 142. I've got almost like high altitude, but will always be slightly higher, so 1,400 feet. Technically, you're going to set the altitude to land, it could be a landing altitude, it's hard for that. 0 I guess it is pressurising it up to the current altitude for us, but it should be automatically doing time anyway above 10,000, providing the oxygen mask is in. Obviously, let's go burn, so that's quite engaged. In the real 560 series, you'll find there is actually, I only realised it recently, but I was under the impression it was a Citation XL. But the XLs also had the high idle switch somewhere up here for the engine, or down here. So it's a shame that this model doesn't include it. So, couple of brakes release. Empty squid is coming on. We won't stick with when they heat on for a little minute, but with the temperature it currently is over Europe, which probably don't heat up. And of course will be changed to can't change this, that must be the FMS plan, which is in this case the Diamond plan 2 and select addons to take off, so 330 and select and bearing in mind this aircraft can't obviously take off speeds the exact same every single time, but it will be ATA about 107 stuff, but it doesn't tend to change depending on weight and flat settings. We set it to run to 7 degrees of flat. We have lower pressure just because the surface is moving, it'll take over it all and using. We get 88, 92, 100 and then 160. Sorry about the fact that everyone the controls all over the place, but soon I'm hoping to get a proper one. That'll be good. We'll have to do the flights with proper hardware as well. Yeah, maybe about for these speeds, that should be all changed. I mean, I know that's the general ballpark for this kind of aircraft, but flaps, settings, weights, central balance, fuel, etc. It's all going to affect, the takeoff speed of moving runway, drag coefficient, etc., the wing, lift efficiency, etc. Wind direction, surface, wet surface, dry surface. There's a ton of factors that go into it, so but I'm not surprised they didn't do it. It's way too hard. They probably can't understand the system enough to put it in. Okay, down whatever this text is, looks like Lima, using the cheap map by the way, so we're going to try and avoid that, and if we do need to look at the map, we're going to look at the GPS. Quick flight control check, elevators, other one. River, of course, reverse first, yes, and forward. We'll be running the home service check. Let's just do the flaps around 35 degrees as well. everything's looking good. We can't look outside the aircraft. I'm not going to look outside of the motor to be realistic. So GMT 9:15, I think that's 10 in Salzburg. And when do I know that? I think I've had this girl. Transponder, let's get the transponder out of standby mode. Again, there's no vacancy available. Surprised actually to such a cool airport. The Salzburg airport, because of all the mountains around the airport and the high approach height. You've got a centre of mind, but that's the Poland. And then LFE, I don't think factories near as well. So that switches out to LT. We've got GMT down there, which is 8:15. It's actually wrong, it's 9:15. So LT is actually our time, and then it's got FT and ET, etc. for setting up. So we set ET when we set off, and we can try and get this press control. I don't know if it works. Okay, it does work. So we remember that in the future. Can't stop the clock though. Pressing it, it didn't start, so once you start it, reset, okay. Yeah, once you start it, it doesn't seem to stop. You can only do a reset, and then keep, okay, there you go. Yeah, Vienna to Rome, very cool. Let's get the transponder onto stun, onto X2, then we'll go to 3, 4, 4, 3. Okay, here's the holding point. Let's do some preliminary checks before takeoff. That's already been set. Holding point, takeoff. Level 83. London lights. So we turn the sight lights off. Put TorqueSim for 2 passes because I have to get off the ignition's already on. We are running quite warm outside. Another thing this aircraft really needs is an outside air temperature gauge. It's one of the like main instruments of an aircraft. If we don't have that temperature gauge, we can be doing the system of this aircraft really goes anyway, don't want to do radar, we can use drone, we'll play with air, you should see yellow, there's no drone, red is anyway, get sidetracked, open generators coming on, master switch, so personalization, pulse. Let's get preturn static keys for the instruments. Let's get the 8 circuit pulses. So we're the same different we were the other day, so Charlie 4 10 will go. So it's for traffic, Charlie 4 10 will go. The traffic number is 333. I don't want to be out down HC, so I assume there's nobody available. For those lights, cockpit lights, cabin lights, no one on board yet, of course, we don't need them. Just checking who we have. Have we got two? We should have 2 pilots, yeah, 2 pilots on board. In terms of weight, that is, I know he's sat next to me. I'm not blind. Okay, so and 1% to 88%, it's more than something to get away, but when we do the flaps, 7 easily I'll be taken. Very fancy first. Take off this to set. 80. V1. 40. rotate. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm so sorry about that. The plane is not taking off. Control lock in. I didn't do that. Dear me, dear me. We even did the control surface check and the elevator unlock thing because you can't put the fuel in without turning the control lock off. So I don't know how that's good, Mark. Sorry everyone, that's really unprofessional. Let's get in the air. Anyway, we want to rotate eventually. Very fine, do. Yeah, control lock for some reason turned back and it must be when I clicked back on the yoke. Right, we're out, going out anyway, departing Salzburg. And go to FDM as well. Flight plan's completely gone from the system. Good climb, let's reduce the thrust a little bit. Pitch down about 10, get those flaps up. A smooth departure, everybody, just totally ignore that control lock pause up. Course is set to 030, going to follow course and doing standard bank for now. Your damper for some reason is always on and spawning in this aircraft, which is not realistic at all. You would not spawn in or even get in a real plane with a real damper on board. We're on the night odds to Vienna. I'm looking forward to it. When we get there, we're going to pick up VIPs. I don't know who's coming with us at the moment. It could be some models, it could be some actors. I don't know. High-paying individuals anyway. We're going to follow the course. I'm going to follow that rather than GPS. The GPS is not very accurate to the movement of the aircraft. 20,000 feet, it climbs straight up. Get to 10,000, we'll be able to take a jet list or climb a cruise jet list, whatever we're going to call it. So we'll put the ignition back to norm. I'm going to do it early, but I'm going to turn the landing lights, take the lights off. We've already put the transponder on, the seatbelt signs have not come on because there's nobody on board. Tail lights, yeah, let's get the tail lights on. More issues with the aircraft there on the lighting, the light comes right through the door as well. Cruising speed is about 450 knots today, true airspeed. You can see down there, true airspeed is 262, ground speed is 262 as well, so we're doing pretty good. Didn't check the wind, but we got a wind indication there, so it's like plus wind of 4 knots. Cross reference with the map of course. Yeah, 4 knots. You can see that the instrument lighting would actually be more appropriate for night. As you say, that's probably the kind of lighting you see in a cockpit, and then you've got the filler lights if you like. At what point do we turn the autopilot on, I wonder? Considering we're not even on route, we're sort of going around in a circle. So this is the GPS, I think, that's malfunctioning. Then there's the wrong headings. Let's go skip. Direct to Vienna. There we go. That's a pilot. Doesn't work all the time unless that navigation. If we get this current climb, it will usually maintain the pitch and the roll as well. Yeah, no, they're natural lights. I can't see these background lights being of recent lights, so you probably want the instruments nice and bright, although it's a preference really, isn't it? You know, bright lights or not bright lights. So we're going to turn the water heat, we'll leave it off because we're on board. We are going to turn the lights off just to save a bit of economy, I guess. Otherwise we'll leave the little ones on. Be interesting to see the 1,000 feet to go alarm sound, so 20,000 feet, which is in a second, it should make a beep. It's not made one, so that's another feature that's missing from this aircraft. 1,000 feet to go would warrant an alarm, and it's also one of the few aircraft. We didn't do a road crew test because I don't think it's it's functional. You know, there's a fire warning test, but there's absolutely no alarm. In the real aircraft, you would have, so in every aircraft you have a fire alarm. I don't think I've seen one without, unless it's you know, if it's not a road crew test, it's going to have an alarm system for it. But then again, if you turn it, let's say to windshield temp, I don't know what's going on there. If you turn it to windshield temp, there's absolutely no warning there whatsoever, other than a windshield fault without a massive caution. Okay, turbulence, I assume you're not level off, let's go for flight level change. Get that down and reduce the first to this wall. That's 65%. Actually, stick 70, that'll be our cruising speed. Plus the entire flight. Course, navigation 1, navigation 2. You can have it on, and have it off. ADF is there as well, everything works. There isn't only one at Salzburg, which is where we've left, but in Vienna, where we're picking up the VIPs, we have a considerable amount of traffic. Now we are planned to arrive at runway 34, number 2 Alpha arrival. When we get there, we'll land, we'll taxi in to pick them up, and then we'll refuel at the same time, and then we'll get on the way to Rome as well. I'm just checking the VATSIM radar, so with the VATSIM-radar.com to see all the live traffic available, and I'm checking that, and obviously traffic at Vienna's increased, but in terms of Rome and Italy, there's not really much there. It will, I mean, there's 8 to see now, but my guess is by the time we get there, there's not going to be any available. Increase the speed. I think at this altitude we're fine to go a little bit faster. We're at 321 now. We want to be at ideal cruising speed is coming up simply for game, playing optimal flight level games with me, but it's come up with about 416 knots. So, uniforms are flooded. We've got a lot of people coming back into the cockpit, and we've got someone getting told off. Not official lingo, not official aviation lingo, apparently. I don't know real life situation or not would actually happen either, but we'll give them credit for it. Anyway, just going to talk you through a little bit of the procedure. I mean, it's not a long flight to get up to Vienna, is it? We're cruising at 300 and trying to get the throttles adjusted. It's really not the best plane at all, this. It's tolerable, but it's certainly not the best one available from the store. There are other options there, such as the, I think it's Airbus 300. We've got, of course, TorqueSim's 525, which I'm probably going to get at some point. I'm just waiting for the right time. Anyway, go back to the procedure. So we want the 2 alpha arrival, as you can see down here. We move up to, it's coming up with 2 whiskey now. We are programmed for 2 alpha. Have to double check it. Always good to check the arrival, make sure that it is the correct one. No, that's the number 2 whiskey apparently, so that's slightly different to what I had on my flight plan. Oh well, we just follow the flight plan's program. Thank you to everyone who's come into the stream as well. I appreciate it. It's not the usual stream time like most of mine. Okay, we need to start descending. We're already approaching we're already there at the airport pretty much. We've got to go past Barlow and then we're at Low, which is of course Vienna International. So we're straight in, runway 34 it seems. We're not going to be bothering, well I suppose we can actually bother with an ILS. So what we do is we get onto the approach, we get the arrival programs, and now we just select procedures, approach, there's runway 34, so we just select the ILS. Vectors, now we're into Bar, I think we're in Bala now or something like that, so there's not really any indication you see on that screen, but it isn't. Anyway, vectors, minimums, what do we want for minimums? We want about 200 feet. Activate that. Now, okay, the flight plan is gone, but it's given us at least that lab where you can fly direct. Or at least try and fly direct to the approach. So we're going to put in Whiskey 971. Yeah. And that'll give us a chance to descend. So let's go ahead and start descending. We'll just get down to about 3,000 feet. Figure out how to work this thing. On the Garmin, unfortunately, the Garmin's not the best piece of equipment for this kind of aircraft. It's not something you'd actually find on this plane in real life. Right, let's go ahead and send 18 feet a minute. Pressurization wasn't much, we barely got up to 5,000 feet. I don't want the one down altitude at Vienna, so we'll have to give again is the latest seat available, but if we were, we could call them and get the alternative. The thought just crossed my mind, one thing you can use, it's completely open source on the internet, is metro-taf.com. I'll give you all the metro data, which is a weather report to the airport you're flying to or from. Yeah, so it's coming up here as 1018 on Q&A. Pretty much no wind, so we can go in for runway 34 as planned, unless we have ATC come in line and tells otherwise. Did about an hour to get there, so yeah, about 15 minutes. We refuel, we'll pick up the guests, and then get on our actual leg towards the airport. Okay, we're not following the navigation, we're following the GPS. There we go. So this is why an FMC could be so crucial in this aircraft. That's why I love the Citation X, because it's built really quite incredibly for a default plane. The level of detail in it is quite impressive. If we do update X-Plane 12.2, I keep saying it, but Laminos does a fantastic job of the scenery and the weather. The clouds, especially, the HD textures, not in this aircraft, because this is, let's face it, not very good, but in the stock planes, the additional stock chocks and things just makes it a lot better. Anyway, there's the airport in front, pretty sure that's Vienna. We'll start setting up for the approaching, 3,000 feet, let's just go down to 3,000 feet. Increase that rate descent. We were expecting about 100 1,800 feet, then it's looking like at 2,000 feet per minute. I'm going to introduce a little bit of thrust there, just a little bit slower in speed. We put the strobes on, no we didn't, but I think in this aircraft, or so I've read anyway, some checklists, you would actually turn the strobes off above a certain level, unless there was another checklist like a 737, but on Citation I know some people do. I don't know if that's real practice, that's just what people choose to put on the checklist for X-Plane. I'm going to stick them on. I should really be on with it. Realistically at night, you're going to be able to be noticeably valuable aircraft. So much better sun radar at 2,253 feet per minute. Again, the design on this is just to point out what it's meant to be like. The VSI here is meant to be considerably bigger, and the number there, the way it's been laid out and the sizing is not correct, and the colour scheme for that PFP is completely wrong. You wouldn't have what I assume is like 3 or 4 colours. You'd usually have top is blue and bottom is brown, and that's it. There would be no, as it seems, blending of colours at least. The sound of blows on that radar. That's staying on. There's not really any weather to be concerned about. Still got people arguing in the communication as well. And I'll give them a call and so. Number 3 whiskey around. Vienna traffic, this is Charlie 4 Tango Grove, descending through flight level 1003000 on the number 3 Whiskey Larger, runway 34.
Vienna traffic, Austrian and Kilo X-ray vacated from the area.
Yeah, fantastic, somebody's using it. Unicorn, maybe it just takes somebody else using it for them to start getting involved, but yeah, great, there's a lot of traffic there as you can see. Runway 34 is their landing one, it looks like somebody else is there. Again, there's people on just people online and things who aren't communicating, which can be a pain sometimes. But regardless if you use any runway, you're going to be landing anyway because we're going to get the call routes properly. I don't know what that plane's doing if it's landing or not. We'll pull up. I don't know where general aviation is. It's probably right down at the end. We'll have to follow our next flight plan with ATC as well. Testing the speed brakes. There's the airport. We're well below, I think we'll be well below, that's going to change about 180 and stick a match flaps down. Landing lights, I don't need 2 gas, we'll just put landing lights on standard. Let's set the heading, it's almost the same as what we took off from. I'll probably take control in a second, I'm just going to wait and see what the autopilot can do. I haven't really used it in this plane, to be honest. This plane is probably not working in the streams. I'll do this one and one more and then that'll do it. I think I'll go back to the good ones. You see my review of it on the channel, I did it last week as well, it's quite in depth. are flat, so there's no way to arm the speed brake on this. It's a single retractor of the device situation. First, go about first on the attitude and trim things. Tell about this speed for the approach. Have we got ILS? One-way free flow? Yeah, so we tune that in and we select approach. I'm hoping it'll follow. I haven't used approach, but I'm hoping it'll follow the approach down to the runway. At the moment it's a bit all over the place. Turn up the maximum turn. Which switch is there? I haven't tried it. Let's give them a call. We're on the traffic, Charlie 4 Tango Golf, turning onto final for runway 34. There's the runway, we've got her in sight, let's go on and select approach. So glide slope's been engaged. This is good. We are pretty close to the fair, we are on the glide slope pretty much. Let's go ahead and reduce that first. Let's look at that. And since we're only about. It's just under 6 miles from the runway. There's gear warning. Just come down a little bit early. So it seems to be holding the approach pretty well actually. This is one feature I haven't tested on Steam yet. But the approach feature is functional. And the lights on. The ignition's coming on. With the P-chains, I'll turn them off. Keep them on until we touch down at least. And then we'll touch down I can turn them off. So we're a bit slow down to, so the markers here is not really VREFs. You can't calculate it because there's no FMC to do the work for you, but I wouldn't go in any slower than 120 on the approach. You can run maybe about 130. Full flaps, I'm about to take control. One sec. On the traffic, Charlie 4 Tango Golf, short final, runway 34. Put the autopilot off. Control, let's get the yaw damper off. Minimums should be called out. I have set them to 200, but it's not coming up on the PFD. Okay, 120 for the minimums. You see, you've got a high thrust setting, quite a high nose as well for this one. I think here the orange arrow will give me a green light usually when I want to go close, but in this area it will give me too high a pitch, so if I'm pitching at that rate, which is too much, we're going to miss the runway. So we're way too high now, so we need to pitch down. Just be concerned about the puppy lights and following where the runway is rather than this thing, because this will be more about maintaining a safe ride.
300.
So we touch down, we don't want to reduce parking. I don't want to keep some power in there. We are slightly low on the approach. A lot of trim in there as well.
100.
Now we're too high. So the aircraft's very temperamental when it's handling. I think that's
40,
just the design of the model. That's not what it comes to do.
20.
Okay, we touch down. We're going to idle the engine like a wind. Put a slack down the wheel. Reverses, spoilers. We're going to make this turn out or not, probably not. So I will take it with about 38 knots. Well, welcome to Vienna. We're going to stop here for a few minutes, probably a couple of minutes to get the flight plan sorted, and I'll pick up passengers and get some refueling as well. And sit there a couple of standby mode on the way to you, and give you all a break for about 5 minutes as well, and then come back. For the resume in the flight to Rome, and figure out where we're going. So we'll taxi wherever we can park. I'm just going to pick a random one down there, and we can bring the people to the plane on a limousine or something. Vienna traffic channel 4, Tango Golf, clear runway 34. Right, after take up checklist, put the transfer into standby. That's going to be tax light off, speed light off. When I say put it in standby, that will just consist of the APU coming on. I don't think much else to change. Normally ignition will turn off. Initially will turn off the engine, so we can turn off a few beacons and generators just to save power. And we're going to set the trim wheel back to neutral. We've ended the runway now. Runway 29 it seems. A few other people at the airport, but nothing to be concerned. It's a long taxi. I hope it isn't a runway 340 park. I'll taxi all the way back down now again if we'll have to take it. Pressure's open. If we do pressurize, so that when we get parked up, it's the normal level, as long as it's below climbing altitude, whatever that is. After the early pressure should be consistent. Let's take Mike, Whiskey, and then we'll park it over there where they want to. What else makes you see it? Right, whenever this parking space is a bit dark, we'll be put there. No do with it. Red lights on in the aircraft, so it's not this big thing in the way. I don't know what that is, the lights there. Blocking our space, let's drive to it. It's probably going to be a straight out, and it's obviously going to be a straight out from that point, and then a straight out taxi when we leave. Okay, let's just put the aircraft in standby mode, that's what we'll do on, we'll do that on the get the start on. So ground level 703. Right. I'll just put the what I need to do is let's put the fuel, let's get the control lock on. Let's go into the APU generator and do down. That'll take the place of the generators of the engines, and it should hopefully charge the battery as well, but it doesn't really need it. Anyway, the generator is coming off. If you don't have the APU, I wouldn't recommend using the APU with the GPU, don't power unit, because the battery's going to set on fire. So the come off, hopefully that's going to smoking. Warning buttons, just stuff with you into the not basically overview. Oh, fuel pressure, that's probably the engine will cut off. Okay, so what I'm going to do, hop off for a few minutes, we'll get done. if you're not having drink and coming back, just come back in 5 minutes. That should be ready. So we're going to get the passengers on board. You're right, if you know better what's going on the right, and I'm sure that's how it's going to work so you can see through it. Anyway, we'll see you then. See you in a minute, 5 minutes for the VIP.
traffic, Austrian 7 Lima Sierra, pushing back on taxi line 36, gate Foxtrot 17.
Vienna traffic, Austria 30 Papa is now on localizer for ILS 34.
Okay, I don't know if anything is going to work over time. We are going to continue with the front, people with the front. We're going to go on to rain now. We've got a quick departure program going there on Sunday from remote Elizabeth Mark, and we're going back to the remote control sky, 2000 departure, sky decision, six passengers are just going to to that think ourselves. Myself, a new profile last time, 30 please in there, fellow today, this is basically another section on the main leg of the flight. As soon as I think we want to get through, then we can change the title, so it'll be a Salzburg, the Vienna, the Rome, and
Vienna traffic, Austrian 30 Papa on final runway 34, Vienna traffic.
Okay, great, so I wasn't the only one using that one. Well, we've got some here, we might as well hop in. We're going to plug in the weight and balance before we get started. The opening bin is the big red. There are 6 people on board, and 4 on the back. One of the freezer single chairs at the front, bear in mind. There's not really a section like the filling, it's individual seats. That's the personal seat. I estimate about 70 kg. Around 70 kg, it seems to be really light speaker. And we've got we don't want everyone on one to try really chat here. We stick with one, step out, balance out the way, and then we run. So it's got a lot of baggage on board. They're going to be staying a while. It's 150 kg baggage, which is, I usually estimate a little bit more. There's no way to step out and accurately with the type of 150 kg, 1800, we did use quite a lot of fuel. We did 1825 for the fuel. Makes sense to fuel it now rather than before, would have been wasting going due to that many things from these 4 people. Okay, 1800 fuel, let's go going, let's get back to 40. Let's get the lights on for them. Yeah. Particularly important to take off. We're going to have a nice on here. Although it's just nice to have a roll in general. So I'm over enough with the background lights on. A bit sidetracked, let's head back in the cockpit. Sometimes in the past the AD has gone off. Potentially up in co-pilot forward, I'm already forward. Transponder is standby, uniform. It's ready to start. We left it in a semi-ready state there. 4:10, so it's 10 in the UK, we're really that time in Vienna. No controllers, actually nobody on there. Let's go started. Left engine's coming on. Let's exclude that and do where the control off will prevent aggressive moving. It should be at least. So it didn't do it then. There we go. I usually start both engines with the start when it's so quick. I always start with an after good on that. Normal ignition for me, I work the right next to TorqueSim generators. Switch the generator in. Open in the power on, and I'll give this time to turn the OPU on. There's not really any way of monitoring the OPU than the PCMs over here, and that's, I don't know, it's not really effective. It's not doing that. You can see about 27 hours at this particular model, and that's one's gold. I'm not too impressed with it, I'm not going to lie, if you're thinking about getting the C-560XL. Next one's tour, I'd just say go and get two of the planes at the same price, because it's not worth it. Yeah, we didn't detect that, so I've got that stabilizer is in a line. Cabin door, we need to seal the cabin door, so it's important. There's a lot, otherwise we're black out.
Vienna traffic runway 34 is vacated.
Yeah, this is a one there. Push the one to cut eyes. Go downside cut to of course. Top the outside, so we've got recirculation again. Yes, and high, so we've got 18 cabins on. It's pretty warm to be honest. UPS, so down there with the flight down, we can go to the flight down and hopefully, I don't know how to clear that off the system. And I'm assuming if I load the new one in, it's going to do it for me. Let's load that, yes, it has cleared off the system, indeed. We should expect procedures from the OP, it seems to have loaded it. We have, yeah, programmed in completely as expected. And then the right feed has been available. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go going. So today, see what sounds are coming on for you. You're not recording. We're going to do a taxis. We're going to check the map as well. So you can check it on the Garmin system. It's one of the features. I don't particularly like Garmin, I know some before, but I really don't. This is so abysmal for America. I know people like it, but this particular one is just oversized. It's out of place. You know, it's just awful. But yeah, the camera using the Garmin, just say the taxi whiskey, Lima Foxtrot to Lima Foxtrot. I think exactly. Hopefully to get that explain that. So just set to that. Lima Mike, sorry, whiskey Mike, after, exactly all the way down, and then we go down there. We have a traffic Charlie 4 Tango Golf is about to attempt to have a 3-4 by whiskey Mike Echo. So we're going, I don't know if this is whiskey 1 or Mike or whiskey 2, it's just going to be whiskey, so.
Vienna traffic, Austrian 7 Lima Sierra, taxi to runway 29 via Whiskey and Lima.
Actually, they're all lined up on that. They're obviously coming this way. We're going around the same one as me. There's one coming down there. I hope it doesn't turn down whiskey because it seems to be a one-way route. But yeah, you can see them all up in the distance, like 3 aircraft on a neutral flight, it seems. Very cool. We did an announcement, and so did the gentleman behind. We must be in unison together, but there's one on the right here who hasn't announced his position. When I get the new yoke, hopefully soon, I won't have to deal with these disconnection issues on the controller, so I'll have a proper flight control, so it'll be a lot better for soon. Well, I wish might the speed indication there, I think we've been coming over the V-speed, but V-speed's always there and they're always in after it for weight and flat setting. As I said earlier, general generalisation on the way there and speeds needed. The 163 again is the auto throttle feature, but the aircraft doesn't have one. I think including it was just a real silly idea. And after the way the developers argued with people who point out the issues, it's just really not a good reflection of the store community performance. Like I say, going by two other aircraft at the store, the Phantom is a great looking jet with the TorqueSim 525, both fantastic looking planes, and both, you can get both and it'll be well worth it. The best thing is for the price, it's just not worth it. They're taxiing pretty fast behind. I don't know if they're trying to catch up with me or not, but usual taxi speed wouldn't be above 20 knots, I don't think. I've never seen an aircraft taxi on that point. And then if there's obviously icy or wet conditions, you don't want to be going above 50. Just keep an eye on that aircraft. You can't look outside the back, there's no rear window. There it is, okay. There's mountains in the vicinity. Obviously there's terrain in the vicinity we need to be aware of. Vienna and the whole of Austria in general is very mountainous, as you know, and the same with Switzerland. I think it's probably the same when we come into Italy. Estimated flight time is an hour, we're not doing too bad on time to get here. Okay, reverse check. That's a pass. Good speed brake check. That's also a pass. Hydraulic pressure is low, you can correct that by putting a fuel pump on, especially if it happens in the air. We even set flight level, so today we've been doing flight level 410, which is nice, a nice high level compared to what we have been getting. I won't change it on that. Let's get on the altitude set, so 14,000. And we'll use full thrust, we're going to use 90%. We're simply going to climb straight up to that flight level. Okay, I thought they would take some to save runway, but they've gone to 29 instead. I suppose 3-4 landed in the part in here. I landed in the part or landed, I can't remember, I think they landed. But yeah, it's obviously different routes and different runways for different people. First squad is coming up to alt. Let's see if we keep on the strobes on. We're technically pretty small.
Vienna traffic, Austrian 7 Lima Sierra, taking off runway 29 now.
Hey, brilliant. The sequence and strobes on. As I say, smaller plane, a really light, classed as a medium-sized jet, but it's not. It's a really lightweight one compared to something like a Citation, which is a true medium-sized jet. This is more of a sort of a fake medium, so it's more lightweight to medium-weight aircraft. I'm going to skip the queue. I'm going to skip taxis down. I don't think we need the entire runway. I won't take this one, I would take... Actually, yeah, let's take this one. I'm not going to be landing on the department on this one, so we'll take it. I don't know where the runway is. Okay, so this is the holding point, which is looking around here. Yeah, my traffic channel 4 Prospect Tango taking off runway 34. Yeah, we have actually taken a high speed turn out, but it's no bubble whatsoever. I don't think we'll take off from this point to be honest with you, so that would probably do. And that's in there, it's not in there, really. Course 339, altitude set, it's got the window heats, heater static heat on. I really apologise about the times on today's stream and the awful take at the beginning where we had a control off issue. I'll start the control thing on that. Please take a shot this in a sec. Something's not working. Select it, there we go. Now it's frozen again. Okay. So we get warnings, that's actually fine. The static heat is on. Now we're taking off, it's a minor issue at the moment. 90% on one. So, close enough. The B-speed disappeared, but as we rotate, SD pitch is a very fine deal. The BFDM. That's one thing that is on in default by this aircraft, which is not correct, so you have to turn it off to get at least a semi-realistic approach in it. So 200 knots is fine now, reduce it to climb first. Again, not departing turn to the west. Bear in mind, we've had traffic department on the runway there, so it might intersect the both lines. The 4 Foxtrot goes Sky 3 Delta departure, flying through on air, current flight level 050, climbing 410. Okay, weather radar's coming on, terrain radar is going on. Fletcher, we're having a lot of got an AC bearing issue there, and Peter Static Heat warning has gone off as well. Fantastic. So you see that nice and bumpy on the department. Navigation. We'll select that altitude. You know, perhaps probably about 5,000 feet per minute. Going to flight plan. It should be following the flight plan. Doesn't seem to be doing it. 6. Direct. Altitude. So it's coming over 31,000. It's coming over the proper cruise that we need from Simbrief. So that's good. It's a Simbrief puts that in school there. So now it's really pushing the nose up a lot. I don't know what's going on with it. Autopilot is off. Nose is getting pushed up like crazy then. Not pressurising either. That's something that I've noticed in this plane. It doesn't pressurise, but somehow we can climb quite high up without passing out. So there's obviously oxygen in the cabins. This is optional. The select autopilot is a very interesting. I'm not basing it on this one because it's just a core model, but on a real plane you would have the autopilot like I've selected. I'll just maintain that pitch and roll that you've set. At least maintain straight level flight. That's like navigation, so we get back on track. VNav, I don't think it's functioning. If we check the view speeds on here, it should have filled out the VNav profile for us. But nothing's popped with them. Anyway, we've got a strange post there, nice square pull. This is a solar departure from here. So again, it's a hit and miss, and this really is, especially the autopilot, just seems completely dysfunctional. Let's get back on track. Let's track style. And continue climbing. Okay, so it's actually changed the flight plan completely. So you go direct to Stein, skip all these waypoints. Stein's way down here, just a straight line. I'm sure we'll actually do that. Slightly more push over the climb, reduce that pitch. So beginner's account was to change. So we're changing it. Yeah, so not really changing how much even though it's the speed mode perhaps. Okay, that's a little temperamental. There's a traffic, we didn't have much there in the area, but the bottom ground's got nothing interesting. Yeah, en route to Rome everybody, so yeah, please sit back and enjoy. I'll keep going.
temperature 30 degrees, dew point is QNH 1014 hectopascals, QS Echo 1009 hectopascals. You have received ATIS information. Foxtrot. This is Firenze ATIS arrival and departure information Foxtrot. At 2120. Arrival runway in use 05. Departure runway in use 23. Transition level 7. Wind variable 2 knots. Cav OK. Temperature 30 degrees. Dew point 21 degrees. QNH 1014 hector. Is Firenze ATIS arrival and departure information. This is Firenze ATIS arrival and departure information Golf. At 2150. Arrival runway in use.
just going. We're actually looking at descent into Rome. Current time is 4:15. Local time, that's midnight. And outside's looking very pretty as well. Heavy clouds. And we're moving over there. Top of the sun. We get to the top of the sun. Pretty sure. Got no at which point we descend. It's in fact that we're going to 0. Move here. Seems go through regular. The best way to ensure you enjoy things is to tell them we've had recommendations for flights, potentially an aircraft you want to see, to want them to fly and try and review, etc. And yeah, any routes is a great appreciated feedback. Just get more advice on the simulator, because it is one of the best apparently, one of the leading simulators in the market. X-Plane 12.2. I don't know if they'll release another version now until the next X-Plane. I can't imagine they will release a significant update between now and X-Plane 13. I'm guessing they're going to release it. I mean, we've already had 12 games so far, so we might as well keep going. It would be nice if they could just stop here and just keep it at 12 and then just keep updating as it goes along. I suppose we'll get more advanced systems and more advanced aircraft. So we did have ATC available, but they've just gone offline, which is unfortunate. We had an area control there for Rome, which is really unfortunate timing again on the vaccine. But to be fair, I use this a lot, or more than I'm not sure, because it's a lot of effort just to get a flight done. And there's never anyone online, and nobody ever talks on Unicom, but I'm sure there's other options. I think there's another one available called iVario or something. Realistic air traffic control. This one here is semi-realistic. There's still no flag pan appearing on it. It just comes over the waypoint, but the Garmin's completely off. Anyway, top of the sun. The Foxtrot is the airport. ICAO. Just looking at the plan. Looks like going straight in. There's a little bit of a... If you've seen these kind of approaches, but there's no ATC. You have to follow the inside approach. So you have to go on a rectangular formation to the... couple of descent has been passed. Let's go ahead and turn our vessel speed, turn the altitude down to level 110. 11,000 feet. Let's have a vertical speed on this. Slight reduction for us. See what size are coming in. Local QMH 5 ages before, but I think it's for the wrong area. Just check it's still online. They've gone off. Oh, hold on one sec. Yeah, they went off. The last information I got from was Foxtrot. The last frequency was 12420 for Rome Centre, but Rome Centre's offline, so we're literally stuck with the 16 left arrival, right 3 Alpha on Unicom for now. We'll keep that second frequency in there, just so we can, in case they come back online. So the anti-ice, one thing I noticed of this, the anti-ice signal's gone off. The anti-ice is on for the wing of the engines. I don't know what temperatures outside, there's no indication in the plane. This doesn't even have the bare minimum that would be required for this aircraft. If you see the XL, you will know that it includes all the necessary systems. This one simply doesn't. It's got a lot of unnecessary things. Ridiculous Garmin of 1000 and a ridiculous autothrottle. For navigation, we'll probably tune the ILS frequency automatically, which is not good. We want to set that ourselves to whatever it might be. And again, if you need to go at all during flight or move up and down, there's no disconnect to the autopilot. Again, that's unrealistic. Let's go back to flight plan, let's just check. So 18,000 feet and then 11. And it seems like that's it. We go down to 9,000 and then quite no indication there what altitude I'm going to select. We know the height of the airport, we get a good idea what approach to do. I'll put that for 3,500 and then we'll just get the QMA. Let me know get the end to that. The real life plane actually, the Cessna C-560XL, the real one, has the option to upgrade. Forget about this Garmin here, this is not in the real one. But the real one can do an upgrade with Garmin 5000 equipment, which is 2 very advanced screens here, and obviously up here as well, so you can upgrade with all the modern Garmin 5000 avionics too. It looks very cool with them, I have to say. But yeah, descending too slow, let's go ahead and increase that descent rate. Hopefully about 3,000, yeah, about 3,500 feet per minute, that's fine. Okay, realistically we're not going to have a wing overheat at 30,000 feet. Well, apparently you have, so let's go ahead and turn those onto engines and turn the wing heat off. It's only minus like 30 outside, so I don't think there's a risk of overheating, but it's come up as an overheat, so that's still a problem. And the MTI is going to stay on for now. But we can't, I mean, again, it's overheating when it's saying we can't see the outside air temperature, but as I say, minus 30 or something like that, and probably minus 40. So it shouldn't be failing, it shouldn't be overheating. So the IOS. How much are you doing? So we're not burned off that much fuel really. We've still got 4 people on board, which is good, nobody's left. Mid-flight. No fair systems. One of the things about this plane is, obviously, aside from being dysfunctional and broken, it just doesn't have the proper failure systems, and it doesn't have any crash physics, it just doesn't have anything, which is pretty much standard in X-112. So if you're going to get a simulator, just get X-112 and don't buy the addons. Or go and get Microsoft Flight Simulator. It has a lot more flying and it doesn't have anywhere near this amount of problems, especially with this open market thing. We have got fan sync on for the engine. Again, I'm just going to point it out because it's so bloody obvious, but like where these lights coming from, there's no, there's no light bulb there, there's nothing, there's just a light radiating. That's absolutely nowhere, it's the same over there, so obviously we'd love to put them and model them in the aircraft. Extremely high up, we're not even below 10,000, so we'll reduce that thrust down. We're literally turning that to final. We may have to skip this, so the anti-ice is coming off. Let's get sorted for London. The other London light's been on the entire time. I just think it's coming off. I'm going to idle. Actually, no, I won't idle, I'll just be drawing. Can't see the writing there. Extend. We should be lining up the runway, so we're going to go straight down to 1,000 feet. I think we're going straight in. It should be giving us straight in. Okay, it's not giving us straight in. It's giving us down this square thing to the runway. So we're actually quite far yet. That's my mistake. Flexing. Let's keep the line lights on. We'll just go down. Offside, and then we'll just go down to 11 this time. So we're actually on track. I think the map is throwing me off. I had a look and we're extremely close, so 6 left. Right, 3 alpha, hopefully not the wrong one. Yeah, 3 alpha will be fine for screwing things. Again, really touching on controllers and just put a tiny bit of thrust in. And it just overspeeds it. Incredible. It's not how relatively quick as I say, it's not like a cross physics, it just does what it wants to do basically. At least you can hear something in the cockpit, but all the switches and things are super loud. And I think on this, flying this more in the hopes to get my money's worth is probably not a good idea. Two and a half hours, that's not bad for a Salzburg to Vienna to Rome two-sector journey, not bad at all. Just to save time, because I know this kind of approach is going to be a long journey, we're going to go straight, go straight to, I think it's 446, and that'll just save us a heck of a lot of time, otherwise we're going to be going up and down there all night. I don't think the traffic going around the airport is too short to this. Frozen that. No. Now, whatever I've done that. I can see a little bit better actually the flight then. And the lights are coming on, so get the signs on. I haven't noticed any other aircraft on the radar. I did just see them on the X-plane map, but I can't see them on the airport radar. There's a few at the airport. We're probably close to land at this point. There's literally nobody else in the vicinity. Wrong traffic, Charlie 4 Tango Golf, descending right 3 Alpha, the flight level 090, the runway 16 left. You have got a lovely online you can see though, if anybody else uses it, so it'd be great to hear your thoughts on the situation, and that's his question. There's that. Terrain, what mountain? We'll be flying into a mountain. Let's keep the terrain radar on, so we won't crash. It looks like a high structure of some kind. Either that or water, maybe water actually. It's very hard to see at night, obviously you can tell there's hardly any visibility. Zoom out a little bit and you'll be able to see it. There's just a massive black spot there. Good, right? Okay, that's some kind of mountainous terrain there, big hill perhaps, so you got to be super careful. I hope the terrain warning works on this. 014, 29. Down to 190. We want the LS frequencies. I keep forgetting to use Habitat, but it is a great plugin. We've got X-Checklist, which is a great plugin as well. For some reason I've got a Cessna checklist there, but it's not needed for this. We want the ILS frequencies, so we want airports, and then in the middle of a Foxtrot. As you can see there, it comes with the ILS frequencies for 16 left, 16 left, 3 runway, 108 decimal 1. It's actually already tuned it, I suspected it would, which means we do have an active
Too low.
Oh shit.
Terrain.
Okay, so terrain feature does work. Unfortunately you can't see it on the radar. I had to take swift control and I don't have a clue where the terrain was. It's not on it, literally nothing is coming up on that radar. That's so dangerous as well. If I hadn't flying it, I think from this point on, just to avoid killing everybody on board. suspicions were correct. That them red lights indicate a high-up object. The terrain on the other hand should have given us at least a red marking on the radar. Anyway, going back, hand-flying the approach. And the lights on. Have we got flaps down yet? No, we haven't. It's getting lots of flaps. Might help us put a bit of throttle on. What else do we need to do? So there's not much else to do on landing checklist really. There's a few things gone wrong. We've had a wind overheat from something. I mean, it looks pretty good to be honest from the temperature side. We've got an AC bearing fault on the right, so that's air conditioning. I have no idea where we are in terms of the runway. We're going to have to put switch. Can we switch autopilot? No, I don't want to risk it. Let's select approach. Yes, select approach. I'll leave that on. There's the runway ahead of us. We have visual. Well too slow. That wind overheat is also a concern. It may be my obvious concern would be a fire or something of that nature. There's no fire indications at the moment. Turn that down slightly and then wait. Background lights off. I don't think it's possible then. Can't turn this part down, which you would be able to do whatever that is. Anyway, forgive the flying, we're well off track. 34, 16 left. Okay, we are on track for 16 left now. Course 45 Just going to climb up a little bit, as you can see, to carry out the other train in the meantime. I'm going to be double careful. I mean, I don't like this, I prefer the FMC, but if you have an FMC, just program RLS and it makes it a lot easier. And go direct, procedures, RLS runway 16, I can't be bothered with that. We know where we're going, we can see the runway. Hopefully we'll be alright. The ramp height is going to be quite high though because of the train, so we'll set that to about 9,000 feet. Actually no, we'll have to check the map and then we'll set it depending on what's around the airport. I think it's just this section of high terrain but the airport seems clear, so maybe about 4,000 feet. We'll go around height. We're on traffic, sorry for Fox. It's late, it's very late. I forgot my own course now. 24 Golf, Tango Golf. In traffic, 24 Tango Golf is on the approach for runway 16 left. Still got a stable alignment, misalignment thing going on. Let's get the ignitions on. Let's keep. I don't know, I'm not going to stick the fuel boost on just in case there is potential fire. I don't think there is though, there's no indication of a fire, just an overheat situation in the wind. Remember then set the ILS right slope localizer, at which point it would be safe to descend with the right slope to 16 left. Keep forgetting the direction, but it seems to be a little bit off. In terms of its bearing. We are peace, so I'm not going to tell you. Thanks for being here everybody, I hope you've enjoyed it so far. As I say, feedback is welcome and more than welcome to give me ideas and suggestions for future streams, destinations, target airports, etc. Any special operations on flying night, day, IFR, VFR, could do some ETOPS, for example on a 737 if you really wanted to. When you take snow emergency, I mean, it's just another issue, isn't it, with the aircraft, but it should come under the indication now that it's snowed at least. There's no indication that how long do we fly? We fly about 1 hour 15 minutes from Vienna. Total flight time will be probably like 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours 40 minutes. Each way 2 minutes. Main traffic 24 Golf is established ILS runway 16 left. Again, forgot my call sign. This is not good. I need to get off the stream, everybody, and I'll stream back on the stream earlier on the next one on Wednesday, so tomorrow we'll get back to normal schedule. 1:30, maybe 1:30, maybe a little bit earlier. So I think that either going to choose the Baron or the Cessna 172. We'll do a little bit of UK flying again. We'll go around, do some VFR flights, airport to airport and back. Okay, second match of flights, we've got speed that. Rear marker within 8 knots per hour, and then that's pretty far. Alright for that, got speed, 150, maybe about 130 target speed. Trying to intercept my horizontal and vertical localizer. Now to marker, so we're definitely established. So full flex. Increase our stall speed, increase the wind lift, also increase the drag as well. It does take a heck of a high nose up pitch, which is not great to get that green circle to appear. You need a max marker. So let's do it to the green circle. It's in about there, but realistically we can't land with that pitch because it's going to be too high. So we'll keep descending as normal, keep the brake lock thrusting to keep our speed up. We'll check the systems, so ignitions, light, passenger safety signals, flap set, gear down. And check this complete. Minimum is 120. Gonna check depressurization, yes. Depressurize nice and well. Oh wow, is that aircraft? No. Well, there is aircraft at the airport taxiing. I really hope they're not going to take off. It looks like they're heading to the same runway. So hopefully they don't take off in our direction. Remember, if you're too slow, you'll end up risking breaking the undercarriage on this model and popping the tyres. 3 poppy lights wide, too high. That's perfect. 2 white, 2 red.
300.
There's the middle marker. It's quite close to the runway. Hold it nice and steady. No much important control finally. We got the inner marker, and we should have got the inner marker by now. Really low on approach, but
50, 40,
hold it steady.
30, 20,
Oh.
10.
Nice smooth straight down. Spoilers, reverses, full reverses. Make that first turn out, I hope. It was 80. 50 knots to make the first turn out. Fantastic. We used so low runway then. I mean, we really did. We barely used a quarter of the runway. The taxi off, we're giving it all clear on ATC. Hopefully somebody's going to respond with a call out on their half. reverse to stay the flight. Yeah, that wing overheat, I don't know what's causing it. I don't know what's causing the aircraft air conditioning to fail on the right hand side. Although it says AC bearing, so maybe there's an airflow issue in there. Ground idle's a normal signal on the ground floor.
Information traffic for deck 011, lane up and take off runway 25.
Okay, he's taking off. Nice double announcement. 74 Tango Golf, run traffic 12 runway 16 left. So they're taking off at a different runway, but that's really strange actually. They've gone for that middle one and not the ones that I've suggested on that one. Anyway, suppose I'll keep them on sometime coming off in this case. Keep that static window heat off. And go ahead and taxi quite far as it seems. Maybe there's a general aviation parking close to the window down for maybe down here, or by the look of the airport layout, it's not easy to find. Okay, you're now 22, that's not bad. Let's stand this ground, stand by. Can you turn that off? Yes. I should have turned your damper off as well. So there's the aircraft he's lined up. He's taking off for the moment. We did clear the runway in time. I think that's, so I've said before these look like 777s, but that could be 777, but sometimes it's an A340 and A330.
Commissioner traffic liner 1680 landing off runway 25, Commissioner.
Okay, so he said lining up with one, but he didn't get a clearance to take off. You can tell how quick I am. I don't know, the OTC comms. Good flight though overall. Join on the next one. Continues to join on the next one. So we're taxiing down, we're taxiing on Bravo, then we'll be Delta. We're just carrying all the way down to Delta. Next up, still retracted, radar's coming up. Citation is on. So it's giving you an indication of an aircraft. It's just not very noticeable. Good to hear the weather radar work. Phone warning came on one of the flights before. A bit late I think, but it's still functioning.
Information traffic for deck 011, runway 25 airborne.
Right, one of them giving airborne clearance, there's another Ryanair there taking off, which is fantastic. Good timing.
Commissioner traffic liner 1680 taking off runway 25, huge.
Amazing. There we go, I think they're probably the last flight that we're going to see this evening. They're the last arrival. Okay, we're receiving the middle marker. How bizarre. So we got the minute marker in the middle, but we didn't get the inner marker. Again, that's not working. Delta 5, down Delta. We don't need a special terminal, they're VRPs, so we can take the limousine from the Grantham, which will be right at the airport for these guys. What to tell you is on board, we have 4 people on board, it's not very important by the way, the VIPs, but it's not very important. Each is built out about 4.5, sorry, that's 6.5 grand each, just for the one way leg. We make quite a good pull-in on this one. So there's the cargo terminal. We can't park there, we're not allowed. We don't have much option, many options. There's another marker. because it tunes it automatically, and that's going on way too long. It just tunes it automatically, which is completely unrealistic, and there's a way of keeping that. Right, past Delta, let's try this spot south of November. You can see those aircraft in there, just about seeing. Yeah, there's the altitude there, so they go from that 9,000 and 4,000 respectively. Both AC bearings are failed, left and right. The wind overheats there is, seems like everything went wrong on his flight, but nothing caused an actual problem in this flight. When I keep going past these, I'll have to take my next plane. I don't think it's park as well, it's not very pretty. And we go behind them on the traffic side. This must have started, so yeah, and it seems like these units are also new to the game and take a pushback so Citation, let's try 225, but yeah, those are new additions, give a little bit more realism, there's also the ground shots, 225, and the perfect limousine, pretty sure I don't know. The brake is set. Let's go ahead and set our controller pump. Nice. Nice and dry the pump, as you can see. There we go. Pumps it out. You can tail and nav lighting for now. You want to push it down. You don't really like, you can't push it off. Let's take it off. Generators. I like to leave it on there, but when you sit down, have the engine bay just scan and doesn't do anything. Standby power can stay on. I think that's pretty much it. We're a little bit just as it is, and we just went to the iPad computer. Although there was a few issues, so I had to maintenance. Finish up there. Anything else? We'll leave it like that with the GPU until turn. I'll leave the battery on and we'll connect the GPU. Go ahead and do that. That's off. We don't want to keep them on the bright light too long. Float down, so the truck's been put in place. No keys or heat. Traction turn to the back. So we're not connecting the back for now. We're going to connect to the body joint and connect the unit. With our battery charge, so let's right. Here's your GPU. not connect it, so addons. It's highlighting the problems even more. I assume I will lower the reflection and things a bit there. Okay, so blue white paint, and that means it is through. There's something going on now. Pilots still in there because the battery is connected to yeah, it's still in standby mode, ready for the next flight. I have to try to get to London, put the phone back to Frankfurt, and we're going to make some maintenance on base. Really thank you for watching, it's Tuesday evening, I'll see you tomorrow. So, yeah, hopefully another enjoyable flight. We're going to go in the propeller right after, hopefully we're buying a Cessna 173, so everybody have a fantastic night. I'll see you then.